Before the widespread use of electricity, kerosene lanterns and lamps were used to light homes. Welcome to Survival Existence. When the power goes out for a short period of time, flashlights and battery-operated lanterns are an option. For a longer-term option, kerosene, also called coal oil, lamp oil, and in the UK it's called paraffin, may be a longer-term fix for lighting. Kerosene is made by fractional distillation of petroleum. Fractional distillation is a process where graduating heat is used to separate the components of petroleum. The use of oil as a light source began in ancient times. Lamps, during ancient times, used among other oils, whale oil and olive oil. By the mid-1850s, an oil was being extracted from bituminous coal and oil shale. That, by the way, is where the name coal oil came from, oil derived from coal. It came to be known by the registered trademark kerosene. By the late 1850s, crude oil had been found to make a quality oil for lighting. By the 1860s, lighting had mostly changed over to using lamp oil made from crude oil, sidestepping the oil from coal and shale patents. Kerosene lanterns and lamps were a staple of lighting from the 1800s up through the mid-1900s. Railroads, farmers, campers, and some public service workers like subway and sewer workers were still using kerosene during that time. Lantern and lamps into the early 1960s, and for some applications to the 1970s, were still being used for signaling and as a light source in darkness in some of these professions. In just a minute, I'll show you. Kerosene lighting generally comes in two very general types of lighting. They come in lamps such as this. They're generally more delicate, very easy to tip over, and when you do, it'll quite often cause a fire if it breaks. Being glass, it will break. The other types are lanterns, like this barn type lantern, or this lantern that this particular one was designed for railroad use and was used on a railroad, as you can see from the etching right here. They came in lanterns like this for railroad usage and also for utility usage, and what's normally called barn lanterns. The lantern like this, the railroad lanterns, can fetch a pretty hefty price because they are collectibles because of railroad memorabilia, and as such they bring a premium price. You can still find these on places like Craigslist and other various places in auction houses like this, but they do bring a high price. But you can find lanterns that are the exact same model and type that were not railroad lanterns that you can still find at a fairly reasonable price. But by the same token, if it wasn't used on a railroad, it's not as valuable, even though it's the same lantern that maybe some utility company used down through the years. But that doesn't mean someone won't try to pass it off as a railroad lantern and demand an exorbitant price. I gave quite a bit of money, probably about 10 or so years ago, for this and several other lanterns over the years. They bring a premium price, but they're very good for rough usage and for uses outside. The difference between a lamp and a lantern is, as you can see, a lamp doesn't have any kind of bell or handle to carry it around outside. It's also delicate and can break easily. A lantern used for using outside or in your house for that matter is usually built a little bit tougher. It affords some protection of the globe, like this wire and this barn lantern, or even for more tougher use, this lantern of course has a bell handle, and also the globe is even better protected with an air gap between it and the wire cage, and also the oil tank in here is not this part. It actually sets in, and as a consequence is more difficult to fill, And also, since it was designed for very rough usage, the tank has cotton on the inside of it to keep the fuel from sloshing around, and so you have to fill it more often. Your choice to use either lamps or lanterns for lighting during a power outage or some other emergency depends on you, but I will strongly suggest that if you have children or pets in the house, I would suggest not using a lamp. They're more delicate, prone to be turned over, and as a consequence can break easily. A better choice for those with children or pets in the house, let me set this down, are lanterns. They are a little bit stronger and are less likely to break when they fall over or tip over. A better idea is to hang your lanterns even inside from a high place where pets, animals, children, nobody else can come in contact with them and turn them over. Of course, keeping them away from any kind of flammables like curtains, valances, your ceiling. They do have to hang down some to keep the heat off the ceiling, but it's a far safer alternative to lamps. Lamps certainly need to be put, even with adults in the household that have no problems with balance, need to be put on a very strong, stable surface and far away from the edge so you can't accidentally knock them off. Also, when using kerosene for lighting, I strongly suggest that you get some sort of fire suppression equipment. A good fire extinguisher is a good idea. If you do have a fire with kerosene, never throw water on it. Water does not put kerosene out, although it is very useful for putting out the things that kerosene will catch on fire, like your carpet, table, curtains, and so on. But for the kerosene itself, you need a good ABC fire extinguisher to put it out. This has been Bobby with Survival Existence, helping you help yourself. Like our videos and subscribe to us here on Survival Existence YouTube channel. Come visit us on Facebook and come check us out at our website at survivalexistence.com. Thank you.